This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by NotBadAnymore.com. Dave Ridley here, signing in from Concord, New Hampshire for RidleyReport.com. This January 25th, 2008. Joe Haas on the right, John Connell in the middle, Lauren Canario in the left. Linking up outside the federal courthouse in Concord to express their disapproval of Washington's continued detention of Ed and Elaine Brown supporter Reno Gonzalez. Gonzalez has been held since, I believe, October of '07 for allegedly bringing a weapon to the Browns. And the beef here is that although Reno hasn't hurt anybody or clearly threatened anybody, he could face 20 years in prison. That's probably more than a rapist would receive by far, and yet he hasn't hurt anybody. For the uninitiated, Ed and Elaine Brown are tax protesters who refused to go to trial, held up in their house instead of going, and they were eventually tackled by federal marshals after an 8-month standoff. Protesters from around the country and supporters from around the country supported them over the months that the standoff continued, but now it's kind of back down to just mostly New Hampshire people coming out and demonstrating their opposition to the way Washington has handled this. Of course, we're all aware Washington could have done worse. They could have been more violent than they were, and it's good that they were as restrained as they were. It'd be nice if they had just left the Browns alone. A really chilly day today in Concord, New Hampshire. Much as it was a year ago when the standoff began. Well, I'm standing here with John Connell of Salem. John, can you come just a little bit closer?
Sure thing.
Yeah, standing here with John Connell of Salem, who is, why are you here today, John?
Well, a couple of reasons, Dave. I'm here in wearing two hats. One is as a reporter for my new YouTube channel, PHONH, and we're going to be advocating nonviolence on that channel. And I'm also here as a demonstrator in support of the one of what's been called the Reno Four, who were Brown supporters. And some folks might wonder, what's a guy who advocates nonviolence doing supporting folks who are alleged to have brought weapons to the Browns? And the reason that I want to do some reporting on this is to kind of illustrate who is initiating the violence. I think there's a lot of good people on the left and a lot of good people on the right that are just mistaken in their beliefs that folks like the Browns or his supporters were escalating a situation or perhaps moving it towards violence, when all they were trying to do was perhaps defend themselves.
Lauren and I actually did some counting in the car on the way over here. We counted up the number of incidents of violence that Washington used and that the Browns used as this situation unfolded over the 8 months or 2 years, however you want to call it. But we came up with 5 as a number of times that the federal government used violence against Ed and Elaine Brown or their supporters. We came up with 0 as a number that Ed and Elaine Brown and their supporters used against the federal government or against third parties during the standoff. There was the time, I think in 2005 or '06, where they tackled Ed Brown during the original arrest. There was the time when they tasered Danny Riley. Again, these are relatively, non-lethal types of violence. They're more limited than they could have been, and that's good. But that's 2 incidents where they used violence. They tasered Danny Riley when he was at the Browns' house. They tackled Ed Brown at the Brown's house. They tackled Elaine Brown at the Brown's house during the arrest in October. And in October, or maybe it was late September, they tackled slowly and gently Lauren Canario. Now again, like I'm always saying, it's good to praise them when they do something right, and they could have done much worse than what they did in terms of the way they used the violence. But again, it's very important to compare that to the Browns and their supporters, who used absolutely no violence during the entire unfolding of this 2-year saga.
Less fat. You know, you buy the that's not that here. Yeah.
John here is one of my students, radiography students, and in addition to taking video, he likes to walk all the way around the courthouse with his sign to make sure he's seen by all the people inside. What John's doing right now is trying to experiment with some of the principles of steadiness that I have taught him. Using his Gadsden flag as a little amateur tripod. By the way, I've been sort of trying to gauge response, and I didn't keep an accurate count today, but it seemed like there have been, at least 15 honks over the last hour or so, and I haven't seen any negative responses. What were you saying?
We did get one thumbs down, and we got one big finger, and the guy that gave us the finger got what everybody else gets, a nice big smile and a wave.
Oh, good for you, John. Anyhow, that about wraps it up. It's Dave Ridley signing off from the federal Gulag entry point in Concord, New Hampshire this January 25th, 2008. Did the Foodstuffs Consumption Authority force you to eat too much over the holidays? Well, this man would like you to learn how to lose 5 to 20 pounds in just 9 days. See for yourself at notbadanymore.com. The doctor who says he's lost 37 pounds in just a month. The technique of accelerated weight loss through nutritional cleansing. The website, notfatanymore.com. Scroll to the bottom, click on the link, watch the shocking video, Are You Toxic? Notfatanymore.com.